Get strong.
Okay. The intro is roughly 10 minutes. I want to make the body of this message roughly 10 minutes, and I want to close out in roughly 10 minutes. That way it's a 30-minute video, maybe 45 minutes to an hour at the max, but I'm trying to keep it trim. So if I move too fast over something, it's your responsibility to go and research and learn whatever I missed, not to judge me and make me feel bad because I'm not, I don't have enough energy or whatever to spew all information at you at once for it to be super clear. You have to do your own research. You have to do some studying, some soul searching, because the way, even if I say certain things, the way you read it might talk to your spirit different. So this is what we want to talk about. Today we're talking about sacrificing and understanding where it came from, what it is, and why Jesus had to sacrifice himself to die on the cross for our sins, and where did that concept even come from? Because as a young man, I began to question the world around me, and people was looking at me like I was losing my damn mind for questioning why we want to kill Jesus and why God needed to kill Jesus and what the hell is going on here, So I started asking myself, well, shit, why did Jesus need to die? Why did God need blood? This is my question, and you can't tell me, I don't care what preacher man you are, tell me that I can't ask this question and I can't get a damn answer. And this is the reason why I created APOP, along with other reasons why, because I can't calm down all the time. So I needed to create me some training wheels to get me home, to get me back to my closeness with God. Because ultimately, the point of life, guys, is to be close with God. I don't know anybody that don't want to be close to God. Even Satan, no, that's not the move. Even Satan be like, wait a minute, I know I got to bow down at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But I want to explain some of the cosmic principles so we can understand, so we can take away the spooky and introduce the practical. We got to remove the spooky stuff to introduce practical understanding, because you don't put oil in your gas tank and you don't put gas in your oil tank. Why? Because you understand the purpose of oil is not gasoline, blah, blah, blah. So you have, a lot of times we're putting oil in the gas tank, and the gas in the oil tank is because we don't know the purpose of something. And it's said, and there's a saying that says, if you don't know the purpose of something, you have a high chance of abusing it or destroying it because you don't understand the purpose. Think about it: relationships, love, religion, cars. Some people don't understand the purpose of a car is to get you from A to B. A lot of people trying to do too much music and hydraulics and all these things, not realizing, man, you really kind of like destroyed that car, But not all people. I'm just being silly. The purpose behind things gives clarity to how to use it. But if you don't understand the purpose of something, then you find yourself having to figure it out too often, right? Having to soul search a lot. So so I really want to basically, you guys, I know it sounds pretty wild, but I'm going to tell you the purpose of life. And when you understand the purpose of life, it'll give you better grip on it. I'm not saying you're going to be perfect, but what I talk about all the time, I talk about it all the time. Awareness helps you make a more informed decision. And that's simple. A lot of us, we're so deep in unawareness that we find ourselves seeking our personal pleasures, seeking more personal pleasure than seeking the pleasure and the well-being of all, because we don't understand the purpose of humanity. We're in a position in life where you see the large majority of society turning away from humanity and turning towards individualism, because that is the best that they can do. Because it seems like that's the only options they got. Like, I better take care of me first, or because it seems like nobody cares about each other. It seems like even when the economy crashes and the world around us crashes, it seems as though we're expecting this Armageddon to happen, and everybody's got guns, and who are they going to use the guns on? Each other. So I'm learning, okay, well, we must need to understand some basics of life again here. And gratefully in Timothy, I'm going to be referencing the Bible as well as the Bhagavad Gita. And it says in 2 Timothy 3, verse 1 through 3, it says something to the nature of Understand this, that in the last days there will come difficult times, times of difficulty. For people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, and unholy. And it says, understand this, that this in the last days, there will become difficulty because people will be lovers of self. And I want you to understand that what makes the world a difficult place is selfish people. And we're going to talk about this from the very beginning, from Adam and Eve all the way to you. Where did Adam and Eve go wrong? Where did Cain and Abel go wrong? And this is what I want to explain. So we went over the vocabulary. I told you some basic vocabulary words because the one of the main vocabulary words we're going to continue to talk about is the devas, D-E-V-A-S, devas, and the importance of our connection to those beings. And when you understand our connection, you're going to say, aha. And this is where where you can really get a grip on life. Okay? Remember, this message is not only just for you. You might feel like you already know these kinds of things. This message is also for loved ones around you, for people around you that are not aware of these things. So make sure your teachability index is up, open, and willing to learn, willing to accept the changes. Because if you have a Christian's hard mindset, it's going to be hard to get it out. If you got a Hinduist hard mindset, it's going to get difficult to understand the progression of the world. If you have a hardcore mindset, it's hard for you to learn and listen to the actual voice of God. God has an active voice, and you have to be an active listener in order to catch what has to be done. Because this is the whole point. God is asking for us to gain union. No, remove that. God's not asking for anything. God made available for us to be unified with God so that we can have harmony and peace on earth and in heaven, right? So as we strive for peace and harmony, you may notice that the path of harmony has a daily dose of challenges that presents itself both internally and externally. If you don't know the mystic lessons of the cosmos, you could get lost in translation and be living in misery and not know how to remove the misery. For example, we all have heard that selfish acts of kindness can bring you good karma. Muslims are told to race to do good deeds so that they will have a higher status in the hereafter. The Bible describes several instances of sacrifice from Genesis to Revelations. And I want to make sure that we break down the differences and the examples of these sacrifices so you can see some of the common traits. Even the average person knows that if you do something good for somebody, you'll probably have some good luck along the way. And I used to believe this as well. But what I've learned is something a little different. Same results, different understanding. Because what sacrifice is, you'll be fascinated to know how it actually relates in your world. Let's talk about it. Sacrifice, I actually Googled sacrifice, and it basically said it's a ugly thing. It's you're literally giving up someone's life. That's the basic sacrifice definition on Google. What I learned about sacrifice reading the Bhagavad Gita gives me a strong understanding that sacrifice is created to gain harmony with God. It's to gain union, closeness, oneness, singleness with God and the cosmos. And actually sacrificing, selfless sacrifice, removes the karmic chains, removes the karmic attachment to your actions. Does this make sense? So in short, the acts of selflessness is sacrifice. You hear me? So what is sacrifice? Sacrifice is a selfless act. That is what sacrifice is in a nutshell. And these selfless acts known as sacrifice, they give harmony between you and God. They unify you and God. Selfless acts of goodness unify you and God. It doesn't give you blessings. I mean, it does, but it doesn't give you a blessing. You can't say, oh, I'm going to do something good for a week because I need this car. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. What it does is says, you know what? My life has been out of whack. I've been far too focused on my selfish desires. I need a refresher. Let me just go do something for people. Let me just spend some time just serving people, right? And because of this actions, the quality of your energy becomes closer to God, becomes God's energy. You hear me? You begin to stream God's energy. And with God's energy, nothing can be against you. So it would seem as though you're getting all these specific blessings from your sacrificing and doing selfless acts. But in reality, this is your true nature. Righteousness, peace, joy in the Holy Ghost is your actual natural state. So your natural state is blessings. Your natural state is wealth. Your natural state is righteousness. Your natural state is harmony with God. When we commit selfish acts, we are disharmonizing ourselves with God. We are living in sin. We, like you say, sine and cosine. Ain't sine the lower below the leveler. Sin is below. You understand what I'm telling you? So in order for you to be raised back into the righteousness of God, back into the union with God, selfless acts clear your energy from the karmic trash, from good and bad karma. Because what happens is that what karma does, it attaches you to this world. And you don't want to get caught attached to this world and be ready and be in position to where you got to pass on to the next world. You're going to have a lingering time here in between both worlds. You get what I'm saying? So your job is to stay harmonized with God. That is the purpose of life, guys, is to harmonize yourself with God as much as possible so that you can have a union and relationship with God, and so that heaven and earth will have harmony. You get what I mean? So doesn't that make sense? Selfless acts of sacrifice, or selfless acts, which is sacrifice, doesn't create good karma. It actually removes you from the chains of karma, to where you don't have to deal with your actions. Your selfless actions are not bound by cause and effect. You understand what I'm saying? So if you still need some more understanding on that, I'm sure I'll come out with more messages as we continue. But I want you to understand that sacrifice clears your energy so that you can naturally harmonize with your righteous self, with God. Okay? So why am I saying that importantly? Because stop thinking that selfless acts, acts of sacrifice, is going to magically bring you a blessing. That's not what's happening here. Matter of fact, it shows that the devas they're actually given honor and blessings and able to produce good energy more when we just do good acts. Because the idea is to not get into a place where, you're selfishly giving to people, subconsciously. Oh no, it's selfless, but subconsciously I'm waiting on a blessing. This is what I'm telling you. Get that out of your thoughts. Get it out of your thoughts. Oh, I'm selfless. I'm giving selflessly because, one day I might get a blessing. You just made it selfish again, right? So the intention is to have a pure heart of sacrifice, to give without any attachment to the outcome, to do what is good for the well-being of all, for the sake of doing good. Because what I'm saying is this: when you harmonize with God, your harmony, God's energy is your energy, right? When you fully harmonize, what blessings are you looking for? Think about it. When you and God are perfectly in alignment, what blessings would you be looking for? Ain't you already got it? Right. So once you realize that you are God, once harmonized fully, your only purpose is to do good. For what? To do good. That's the reason why you do good. Because good, feel good. Good is good. Because of righteousness. You understand me? That's the reason why you do good. Because it's good. Because it's good. It keeps good energy. It keeps the cycle going. Right? So let's look at it again. What does sacrifice do? What is the purpose of what is sacrifice? Sacrifice is selfless acts of goodness. What does that selfless act do? It removes you from the chains of karmic cause and effect. It aligns your desires with good intentions. What did I just say? Sacrifice, selfless acts, aligns your desires with righteous desires. Okay. Sacrifice also, it clears the subconscious from attachment and sin that separates you from God. And it also makes the world a more peaceful, better place, providing energy, clean energy, selfless acts of righteousness. Provide clean energy for the cosmos, earth and heaven, heaven and earth. So chapter 3 in the Bhagavad Gita, it's titled, chapter 3 is titled Selfless Service. And it's stanza, you want to read in verse 10, it says, in the beginning, mankind and the obligation of selfless service were created. Through selfless service, you will always be fruitful and find fulfillment to your desires.